Okay, so I checked this with an online problem solver, and it actually turns out all right, but it's a little messy. So I'm gonna make a locker, and I'm gonna make it really long because this could end up being really long. And let me tell you, this is hard to do while looking through a camera at the same time. So we're going to get the y's alone right away because this is really messy, and we don't want any distractions. Plus, it's just, we're gonna have to get rid of it eventually. So we'll just move the 4 over first. That'll be our first order of business. So this is gone, which just leaves this stuff. Carry it right down, not change a damn thing. Put a little locker thing in there, and then 19 minus 4 is just 15. So now we gotta subtract these, and they have different denominators right here. So just pretend that the y is not there, because basically at this point, you can think of the y as like a label or something attached to it. So these, although we can't just get rid of the y, we can't ignore it for the time being, because whatever it is a constant, and you'll learn more about that later, I assume. So we want these to have the same denominator so we can combine like terms like we talked about before. So in algebra, there are certain things you can do and certain things you can't do, and one thing we can do is multiply things by 1, and the parentheses next to something means they're going to be multiplied. So in order to get this as a 6, we want to multiply by 2, because 2 times 3 is 6, and I know that because 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I know that 2 times 3 will give me what I want. And you put a 2 over the 2 because then you're multiplying by 1. And that's allowed. You're allowed to multiply by 1 because 1 times something is itself, so you're not really changing it, you're just changing the way it's written. So this ends up being 4 over 6 times y minus, because 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. And then that stays the same, and that's 15. So on this side, you're going to combine like terms. So you probably remember from fractions that you just subtract these like you would. 4 minus 1 is 3, and then that's over 6. Y, and then that stays the same. So now, in order to get rid of a fraction, you got to multiply by its reciprocal, which will become clear why in a second. So its reciprocal is 6 over 3, because they're opposites, right? That's the definition of a reciprocal. So you got to do the same thing on both sides. And this ends up being, and I'll bring this off to the side, so 6 times 3, like that. So that is that. And we can do this one of two ways. I can show you that 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 6 is 18, so that's 18 over 18. Or you can cancel. So 3's match, and they both go into each other once, so you keep that a 1. And the 6's match. So that's, either way, it's just 1. So that's what we want. So these are going to cancel. And then you got y, and oh god, I ran out of locker. And then that's going to be 15 times 6, which, just to show you that process. And so I don't screw up, because I do that a lot. 5 times 6 is 30, so you're going to put the 0, the 1's place, in the 1's place, and move the 10's above the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 90. So you got 90, but don't forget, that's just these top ones. So technically this 15 is over 1. You can think of it that way. So it would be 3 times 1 if you want to keep it like the normal multiplying fractions rule. Just keep it clean in your head. But now, so we've got, keep this up for fun. You want to get distracted. So now we've got 90 over 3. And then that ends up being 90 divided by 3, which is 30. And I know that because if you take it off to the side, 3 goes into 9 3 times 3 times 3. And that's minus 9. That ends up equaling 0. And then you got just zeros left, and 3 goes into 0 times, so then you got 30. So y equals 30. And that's pretty gross.